Hello everyone, welcome to Diagnose It. Today we have this case and we are to interpret this x-ray. Okay, so firstly starting with the case, this is a 60-year-old female who presented with this mild cough, high grade fever, and it was present for around 2 weeks. And this chest x-ray is given and you can clearly appreciate the pathology in the x-ray. This round area that you can see here, this is the exact pathology in this x-ray. But for the sake of looking this chest x-ray in our usual way, starting with this trachea. This trachea is just a little bit rightly deviated, which is quite normal. Then discussing about the bones, the bone shadows are looking quite normal. Yeah, the bones are normal. Then about this cardiac shadow is also normal. Then about this bronchial area or in the lung area, you can clearly appreciate there is some pathology. And now let me tell you the diagnosis for this chest x-ray is this lung abscess. Now let's start our discussion on this lung abscess and we'll follow a regular way of discussion. Firstly, discussing about what is this lung abscess. Well, it is basically a microbial infection of the lung and that leads to the necrosis of the pulmonary parenchyma. One is it is a microbial infection and that microbe can be bacteria, it can be fungi, or it can in bacteria it can also be like mycobacteria. Okay, and next is it leads to this necrosis of this pulmonary parenchyma. So this is about this lung abscess. Now a few more things. Well, less than 4 weeks, if this lung abscess is present for less than 4 weeks, then it is called as acute, and if more than 4 weeks, then it is called as chronic lung abscess. Okay, now discussing about some risk factors for development of lung abscess. The first risk factor is immunocompromised patient. If immunity of the patient is low, that may be due to AIDS, or in case of patient is receiving immunosuppressive drugs due to post-organ transplant, or patient is on chemotherapy for cancer, then these are the cases where the immunity of the patient is low. Then the chances of patient getting lung abscess is high. Next is if the patient is having some disorder that leads to increased chance of aspiration in the patient. Like if the aspiration chances are increased, then the content or the microbial flora that are present in the oral cavity, they will get aspirated, and when they get aspirated, they make a foci in the lung, and with time that foci develops and leads to this necrosis of lung parenchyma and may lead to development of the lung abscess. And the disorders in which the chance of aspiration are more are if the patient is having any epilepsy or seizure disorder, if the patient is having bulbar or pseudobulbar palsy, in case of alcohol intoxication, or in some cognitive impaired patient, in cases of Alzheimer disease, or that vocal cord palsy patients, bedridden patients, or patients in coma. So these are the patients where the risk of aspiration is more. The next risk factor is if the patient is having any underlying pulmonary pathology, like if the patient is having lung tumor or any foreign body is there in the lungs, or due to any lymph node, if a segment of the lung get obstructed, then the segment distal to that obstructed segment will get dilated and there is fluid secretion in that segment. And with time, if that dilated segment with the fluid get infected by any microbe, then that also leads to development of this lung abscess. Now coming to the microbes, like what are the microbes that can cause a lung abscess? We have discussed about being bacteria and fungi. These can cause lung abscess, but what bacterias are the most common cause, or what bacterias are causes of this lung abscess? In the bacteria, mostly it is polymicrobial. In cases of this polymicrobial lung abscess, the common bacterias are this bacteroids, Parvotella, Peptostreptococcus, Fusobacterium, and the Streptococcus. And among these are mostly anaerobic and gram-negative bacteria, and they are also present in the oral cavity. So if the risk of aspiration is increased, then these are the most common causes of the bacteria that are present in that lung abscess. Yeah, the lung abscess can be monomicrobial also, and the causes for this monomicrobial lung abscess are this Staphylococcus aureus, Klebsiella, Streptococcus, Burkholderia pseudomallei, Haemophilus influenza type B, Nocardia, and actinomyces. These are the causes of this monomicrobial type of lung abscess. So now let's discuss a bit about the classification of lung abscess. Well, there can be a lot of classification. One, we have discussed about this being acute and chronic lung abscess. Next is it can be divided as primary and secondary lung abscess. Primary lung abscess and secondary. And the secondary lung abscess basically means that there is an underlying lung pathology that is basically a risk factor for development of lung abscess. And in primary, it basically means that there is no underlying lung pathology, so the patient developed lung abscess due to any other cause. The other classification, as it can be according to the route by which the patient got the infection, and by route it can be like exogenous infection, or it can be from the aspiration. If this is the case, then this is one type of lung abscess in which the aspiration or the route that is chosen by the bacteria, or by which the bacteria came inside the lungs, is via the trachea and via the airway. Next is about this hematogenous route. Yeah, hematogenous route can also be a route for development of lung abscess. Now let's come to this next part, and in it let's discuss about the diagnosis, how we diagnose this case of lung abscess. One is about this history. The patient is having the symptoms like patient may be having fever with chills. Patient may be having weight loss because it is a chronic condition and usually takes around 3 to 4 weeks to develop. Next is there may be cough, and the cough may be productive or non-productive, and let's understand it why it can be productive or non-productive. Like if suppose these are the normal airways, and as you know, there are a lot of branches in the airway. If this lung abscess is communicating with any large branch of this airway, then the secretion from the lung abscess can go inside the airway and may travel up, because there are cilia in these airways, so it may travel up and may lead to development of this productive type of cough. But if this lung abscess is far away, then there is no chance of this secretion and the abscess to become inside this airway. Then this cough in this lung abscess, this become non-productive type of cough. And other non-specific symptoms like fatigue, loss of appetite and weight loss, these can also be present. Now the next thing is we do a chest x-ray. And in the chest x-ray you can see this type of opacity we can see, and the characteristic thing about it, we get an air fluid level. It is must for diagnosis of a lung abscess. Suppose this kind of cavitary lesion we see on a chest x-ray, and in that cavitary lesion there is an air fluid level, like there is a white area that is present below and a black area that is present above, then this is called as lung abscess. And this white area that is present below, this is due to the secretions, and this black area that is present above, this is due to the air. So this must be present to diagnose this case of lung abscess. The next investigation that we go for is the CT scan, and the CT scan we can clearly see about this air fluid level and also know about the secretions are present in that cavity to basically definitely diagnose this case of lung abscess. Or the patient is having productive cough, then the sputum can also be cultured, and then culture and sensitivity of that sputum sample can be done to know about the sensitivity of the antibiotic for that bacteria. Now in the end, let's come to the treatment part. Well, in the treatment we basically have to target a lot of organisms, and these organisms basically include this gram-positive cocci, about the Staphylococcus and Streptococcus, this gram-negative cocci, this anaerobes like Bacteroides, Fusobacterium. These must be targeted in case of lung abscess. So to target these, the drugs that we basically use for the empirical treatment of this lung abscess are beta-lactam group. And the beta-lactam group, the drugs that we are using are basically this piperacillin-tazobactam combination, amoxiclave, this ampicillin-sulbactam combination. These are combinations that we are trying in this beta-lactam group. The other antibiotics, about this clindamycin, yeah, this is currently used in this case of COVID-19. Do you know why we are using this clindamycin in some patients of COVID-19? Because we want to prevent the development of lung abscess in this patient. This is basically a drug for prophylaxis of lung abscess from anaerobic bacteria. So this is basically used in cases of high risk. Suppose if there is a high risk of development of lung abscess in some cases, then this drug can be used as a prophylactic drug. Now about the duration of antibiotic. Well, antibiotics are mostly given for around 3 weeks. And most of the time it gets resolved, and if it is not resolving, then go for a culture sensitivity and change the antibiotics. Okay, or if it is not resolving, then the other cause can be, it can be a fungal lung abscess, or it can be a mycobacterial cause, like TB is causing that lung abscess. Then also go for this culture sensitivity, and in case of TB, then go for this CBNet. There is one more thing. there is not only this medical management for the lung abscess, there is also surgical management. One is about if the size of lung abscess is more than 6 centimeter, then there is a very less chance of it getting resolved by the medical management only. So if the size is more than 6 centimeter, then we go for surgical management. Firstly, we try the medical management, but if it is not resolving, then we go for surgical management. And in the surgical management, what we do, we can go for the lobectomy or pneumonectomy. So these are the surgical approaches. We can also try endoscopic drainage, or we can go for percutaneous drainage also in case of lung abscess, to drain the fluid or to drain the secretions that are present in this abscess. So this is the basics about the lung abscess, and if you have any questions regarding this, then do post it in the comment section below, or you can also DM me on my Instagram handle at Diagnoseit. So don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.